What's up, guys? We're back again with another case unboxing today. And if you've seen in my last case video, we looked at the ARGB-Q3-G from DIYPC. And today we have another case from DIYPC. And this one is the ARGB-Q3 in the green color. Now, the reason I got the green was because the white wasn't available, and this one was only $53. So I know the price fluctuates from time to time. The white's normally more expensive. The pink and green are the least favorable colors, so they're normally a little cheaper. But if you noticed in the last video, my motherboard did not fit in the Q01. So this one has a little bit bigger of a motherboard tray. So in this video, I'm going to do a little comparison between the two because I still haven't sent the Q01 back yet. And shout out to Newegg. I've always had good customer service with them. I just sent them a couple pictures and they set up the return. Everything goes smoothly, you know. We're going to take a look at this and we're just going to do a quick comparison. It's not going to be a real long video, I hope not. But I'll get this out of the box and I'll have both cases side by side and we'll take a look at them. And we're back. I have both cases out of the box, and the first thing you'll notice is, as I suspected, the Q3 is much longer. So that's how you're able to support an extra fan. And if you look, you got standoffs in there already for the motherboard, and I can see that my micro ATX will fit. This case is it's over an inch longer, so it is a larger case. I do believe it's the same width. It looks like it. Let me take a look and see here. Okay, so they are the same width. The difference is the Q3 is a little bit longer. Another difference, like I said in my other video, is this version of the case has the painted glass on both sides and there is a support rail there. This one, I think, is a much more aesthetically pleasing case. You get a full panoramic view of your motherboard and your build. I kind of wish that one was the same, but unfortunately my motherboard don't fit in this case. Another thing that I did notice that I wanted to touch on real quick is these standoff screws. With the Q01, they have little rubber gormets on them, and the Q3 does not. So just kind of watch out for that. Don't screw them in too tight because there's nothing there really to protect them from hitting up against the glass too tight. All right, let's move the Q01 out of the way and just take a look at the Q3. Okay, with that out of the way, here we are with the ARGB-Q3 case. This is like a 011 dynamic style case. I'm going to take the side glass off here. This is all pretty much the same as my last video. Same 4 standoff screws. These ones are in black and they don't have the rubber, which is kind of sad, but oh well. I kind of like this case because it's different. It's a different color. Now I kind of hope I got an all white build, so I'm hoping it looks good in this green, especially since this already has black accents. But take the 4 standoff screws. That's how you get the side panel off. Just like the other case, this has the same style little ball nubs, and they have little clips, and you can take the front panel off. Now the fans seem to be Molex just like the other one, but they're a little different. They're clear, so I'll hook them up and we'll take a look at them. You get your little instruction pamphlet like always, and as I said, this case has the bar here. I was thinking I could take a Dremel and cut that off and find a way to get that mounted a little better in there. And if I could get the paint off of these panels, I could probably make it more like the other one, but I don't know if it's worth all the trouble. Okay, with the panels off, we're going to take a look around, and one thing I noticed right away, as I mentioned in my last video. If you guys checked out Zach from ZTT or Nerd on a Budget, their reviews of this case, they didn't receive the cover for the top punch out. The company, I guess they assume your GPU is going to go there, but most of them are down here. So when I got the 01 version, it did have a cover. And I thought maybe it was just a difference between the cases, but it looks like now they are including a punch out cover with the Q3 also. So this one does have your punch out cover. So hopefully, because that was one of the negative complaints that most of the people I've seen that reviewed this case had. And you get a little bag of some extra standoff screws, some motherboard screws. So that's good, especially being with a green case, because not many people are going to have green ones laying around. I have plenty of white ones and black ones, but I don't have no green ones, so I'm glad they sent that. I was hoping that they would. But like I said, once again, this is just Molex, same setup as the last case, so I'm not going to go through any of that. This one does have on the bottom the dust filter. Now, it's nothing fancy or magnetic. It's just one of those ones that slides into the clips style. Not the best implementation, but it's better than nothing. Kind of wish I'd get some white ones because I want to do a white build. And it's a little bit different here. You can fit 3 120mm fans in the bottom, 2 on the side, and your 1 exhaust. And you can fit, I think, 2 or 3 on top. We'll have to take a look at that. I got a couple fans here. Let's see, let's get a 140 out and a 120. Okay, so we're gonna see how many of these. I think you'll be able to fit 3 on top. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so you can fit 3 120s on the top, 3 120s on the bottom. I figure a 240mm IO radiator on top or bottom, or on top or the side will fit. And I wasn't sure looking at this case if you could fit 140s, but let's just take a look here and see. Let me flip this down for us to look here. And does it have, it has these extra cutouts here. So I don't know if 2 140s, if that's what those cutouts are for. We're going to find out. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't mention that. If you look in the instruction pamphlet or you look on Newegg, it just says 120s, but 2 140s will fit on top. And it also looks like the standoffs here on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, so you can fit 2 140s on the top and the bottom of this case. This case, the motherboard tray must be just different enough that it'll fit 140s. Now, I don't know with the motherboard there. You probably can't fit the 140s if you have a micro ATX motherboard. It's going to come all the way to the bottom. If you have a mini ITX, you probably fit 140s there. Now that I'm looking at it, because your motherboard is going to come down too far. So even though there is holes there for it, I believe, yeah, if you got a micro ATX, you're going to want to use 120s on the bottom if you use anything at all. Around to the other side of the case, the side panel, just like the other one, has these thumb screws. And as you can see, they don't stay with the side panel, so you do have to be careful. Okay, we'll remove the side panel, and one thing I noticed right away is, I guess because it's a little smaller, the build quality of the side panel seemed to be much better on the Q01 for some reason. Maybe because it's a smaller panel, so it just feels more sturdy. This one you can definitely feel the flimsiness and more like what I expect from DIYPC. And mine does have a paint blemish on it. Looks like it's from the factory right there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Not a huge deal. You have the same cutouts for your PSU and the side panel fans. No dust mesh on this one either. Kind of wish there was. And here's another difference. It looks like you have a little bit more room back here than you did with the Q01. Otherwise, everything's pretty much the same. Fan hookup's the same. It's mounted to the switch up there. This is that double drive bay I was telling you about in the Q01. Comes with a single drive bay. This one has a screw here. It's a dual drive bay. You can fit dual 3.5-inch drives on there, or it looks like you can fit multiple 2.5-inch drives. And it has 4 screws here instead of just the 2. And if you wanted more, if your motherboard has multiple M.2s and you don't need the drive cage, you can just remove it and get all that much more space there. So it will fit a standard, just like in my last video, it fits the same standard ATX power supplies. Now up top, this is a little bit different. You had a round button. The layout's just a little bit different. It's the same top panel I/O pretty much as the other case, except for the power button square. Oh, feels a lot nicer quality. You do have a USB 2.0. Well, you have your lights for your hard drive and power LED lights, USB 2.0. You have a microphone and a headphone jack, and another 2.0 USB and a 3.0, and that's a much better feeling button too. For your reset switch, but in this case, the reset switch is hooked up to the RGB fans. So the next thing I'm going to do is just check real quick here and make sure that my motherboard's going to fit. So I did measure, and it looks like right here, about right here, is on the Q01 is where your motherboard tray cuts off, and this one does extend and have your 2 further points. This is 9.6, so this will fit a full 9.6 by 9.6 micro ATX motherboard, and that's what I have, so that's a good thing. So then I might go ahead and throw a power supply on there, get some see if there's any differences with the RGB of the fans, and then the next time you see this case, it'll have a build in it. So this is when you power them up. This is your default setting. Now these fans are exactly like the ones that were in the Q01 case, except for they were white, but it's the same. This back fan here is the only one that has the RGB controller built into it, and then these are just daisy chained to it through Molex, and then it has a connector that hooks into your reset switch so you can cycle through. So I'm curious to see if these fans kind of act in the same way. Like I said earlier in the video, if you watch Nerd on a Budget or Zach's videos, their fans kind of always defaulted back to this. Now in the Q01 case, mine would stay. Now there's no solid colors. There's like rainbow puke, and then this particular setting here just cycles through them all. So I'm going to hit the reset button here and we'll see what we get. That's the rainbow puke. Now I want to leave it on this for at least 10 seconds to see if, like in their videos, if it cycles back to that default. Yeah, so that's weird. So yeah, this case does have the same issue. They seem to cycle through. Well, let me go through a couple more settings. There's rainbow. No, see, after 5 seconds, it just cycles back through. So the other fans in the 01 version of the case, they were fine. These fans will automatically switch back to that default after a few seconds. Now this is the one that just like it's breathing, I call it, and it cycles through the colors. But if we leave it here, it's going to make a liar out of me. Watch. We'll see how long it takes to cycle back through the default. I would say if you want to keep these fans, I would power them from your motherboard's ARGB if you have one, or get a separate ARGB hub, and then you're going to have better control over the LEDs, because the way it is, these LEDs just kind of have a mind of their own, it seems like. See there, it's cycled. So yeah, it looks like there's no way to get them to stick on any certain pattern. Right now, real quick, in the last video I didn't show you guys that, but I'll see if it works on this case. One thing you can do, if you just want to turn it off, you can press and hold the reset button for 5 seconds, and it will turn everything off. And then when you want to turn back on again, you just do the same thing, press and hold for 5 seconds, and they'll come back on. So there you have it. Same problem with the fans as those guys had. The Q01 fans did not do that. They would actually stick to whatever setting you put them on. That's about it for this video. That's just kind of a quick look at this case and a comparison between that and the Q01 version. So if you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Just leave them down in the comments. And thanks for watching the video. Everybody have a good day.